Good Wednesday evening, July 31st, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this final day of July. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. One person was injured and another faces charges after a brush fire east of Soap Lake late Tuesday that destroyed 6 vehicles, 4 RVs, and 7 outbuildings. State Senator Brad Hawkins has by far raised and spent the most money among the 4 people running for an open Chelan County Commissioner's seat. The National Weather Service has issued an excessive heat watch for our area Friday and Saturday. All the weather details straight ahead. Numerous fire agencies responded early this afternoon to a brush fire along Highway 97 near the Beebe Bridge in Douglas County. The fire started just after noon, and soon after, the Washington State Patrol closed the highway, advising motorists to use Highway 97A as an alternative. The fire spread quickly in the dry brush, but mild winds prevented it from growing faster. Air support was called, and just before 1 p.m., a helicopter was dropping water on the fire. Additional hand crews also were dispatched. The total acreage and cause of the fire have not yet been disclosed. One person was injured and another faces charges after a brush fire east of Soap Lake late Tuesday that destroyed 6 vehicles, 4 RVs, and 7 outbuildings. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said a property owner faces first-degree reckless burning charges for causing the fire, which burned an estimated 57 acres. Shortly after 10 p.m., the fire was reported off Road B Northeast near Road 20 Northeast. It quickly threatened homes and other structures, and Level 3 evacuations were ordered for most of the area. A homeowner in that area was hospitalized for smoke inhalation. Grant County Fire District 7 crews, with assistance from 5 other area firefighting agencies, were able to contain the fire by about 1 a.m., and the evacuation notices were lifted. A pregnant woman was treated and released at the scene after reporting difficulties. Fire officials said firefighters are using time of slowed pioneer fire activity to continue their work on the community protection measures in Stehekin as hot and dry weather conditions return. Crews continue to work their way up the Stehekin Valley towards Chelan Bridge yesterday and installed sprinklers and hose lays. Felling of hazard trees and work on protection lines also continued in the area. Evacuation levels remain the same, with Stehekin at level 3, Moore Point to Safety Harbor at level 2, and Safety Harbor to Camas Creek at level 1. The Pioneer Fire has burned 33,762 acres since June 8th and is at 12% containment. When we come back, a completion date for the Wenatchee girls softball field is not yet set. A large group of volunteers attacked Wenatchee's graffiti problems head-on last weekend. And State Senator Brad Hawkins has by far raised and spent the most money among the 4 people running for an open Chelan County Commissioner's seat. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
What does RV stand for? Recreational vehicle or ruined vacation? At Click It RV, we want you to have a fun, safe camping experience. So for the month of June, get to any Click It RV store and get a professional propane leak test, tire pressure check, wheel bearings, roof, slide and battery test. And all inspections are free because we want you and yours to have a safe camping season. Thinking of upgrading? Check out their used selection of new and used top brands like Grand Design, Rockwood, Flagstaff, Winnebago, and more. So get to a Click It RV store near you for a free inspection and keep your family safe.
I'm Keith Gaynor, running to be your next 12th District State Senator. It has been a privilege to serve you the past 6 years in the House of Representatives. I believe public safety is a critical issue that affects all of Washington. This should be one of our highest priorities. Washington families are struggling. Housing, food, and gas prices are severely affecting our budgets. We need to find better ways to support our families. Together, we can build a better Washington.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Steelhead Cider offers 20 taps with cider, beer, and wine, featuring views of the lake, great music, and fantastic flights. Find it on Wooden Ave behind the bookstore in downtown Chelan.
Kelly's Classic Ace Hardware Store. From the minute you walk through the door, you'll feel the difference. Kelly's revives the days of personal service lost in the big box stores of today. Kelly's Ace Hardware in classic downtown Chelan.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
A completion date for the Wenatchee girls softball field is not yet set. The $4.1 million field has been under construction since April and is on schedule to be finished by the end of August. The field resolves a Title IX complaint from 2022 that alleged unequal treatment of male and female athletes. Wenatchee School District Communications Director Diana Hagelin said the school district is anticipating a ribbon cutting in September. Hagelin said more details will be released on the ribbon cutting at a later date. A large group of volunteers attacked Wenatchee's graffiti problems head-on last weekend. People from the Wenatchee Police Department's volunteers and police service and community members that included a large group from Cafe used brushes and paint to cover graffiti at numerous locations around the city. The police department said the efforts made a visible difference and thanked Rada Paint and Sherwin-Williams for providing paint and Target for providing food and beverages for the workers. State Senator Brad Hawkins has by far raised and spent the most money among the 4 people running for an open Chelan County Commissioner seat. State Public Disclosure Commission records show Hawkins has received more than $90,000 in contributions since declaring his candidacy for the District 3 seat in April. Heading into next Tuesday's primary election, Hawkins has spent more than $73,000. Wenatchee homebuilder Flint Hartwig has raised just over $22,000 and spent about $18,000 of that, according to PDC records. Hartwig has thus far contributed almost $6,000 of his own money to his campaign. Meanwhile, Brant Capel, a legislative liaison for State Representative Keith Gaynor, has raised $4,600 and spent $4,100. Chris Willoughby, a Chelan County Fire District 5 commissioner, has raised about $2,500 and spent $2,300 of that as of the latest PDC reports. The 4 candidates are seeking to replace Commissioner Tiffany Gehring, who is not seeking re-election after 1 term. Only District 3 residents will vote on the race in the primary, with the top 2 advancing to the November countywide election. Coming up next, Randy Agnew believes he can scale up his experience as mayor of Douglas County's fastest growing town to serve the entire county on its board of commissioners. More on that in tonight's feature story. Expect hotter weather tomorrow with an excessive heat watch in place for Friday and Saturday. I'll have all the details coming up in your full local weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
It's vacation season. While a trip to Hawaii sounds great, we know what you really want is an inflation vacation. That's why Abby's feeds a group of 4 to 6 people for less than $26. Enjoy an inflation vacation at Abby's. You can be a superhero tonight and treat your family to Abby's famous hometown hero. This giant features our classic pepperoni, tasty Italian sausage, and crisp green peppers, all layered together for a legendary feast. Don't miss this July special pizza at a very special price.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
My name's Nick Dirk, and I've been a cinematographer-photographer for over 10 years. I got my start at the Wenatchee Valley Technical Skills Center. Without the Tech Center, I wouldn't have got my first job in media production 3 months after I graduated high school.
My name is Charlie Voris, and I own Vortex Productions. My work has taken me on exciting adventures all around the world, and I got my start at Wenatchee Valley Tech.
Hey, my name is Ole Mingo, and I'm the Executive Director at Heirloom Creatives in Wenatchee. I am so thankful for Wenatchee Valley Tech to be able to have my dream career.
Our cost of living is out of control, and people are hurting. Gas, food, and housing prices are among the nation's highest. The cost of crime is soaring, and we're the worst for taxes and spending. As governor, I will fund what works, fix what doesn't, and stop spending money we just don't have. Bob Ferguson won't change a thing. I will, and that's the difference.
Dave Reichert.
In tonight's feature story, Randy Agnew believes he can scale up his experience as mayor of Douglas County's fastest growing town to serve the entire county on its Board of Commissioners. Agnew has been mayor of Rock Island for the last 9 years and spent 5 years on its city council before that. He's running in the August 6th primary to replace Kyle Steinberg, who's stepping aside as county commissioner after 2 terms.
As a mayor, on a much smaller scale, we pretty much do everything the county does. Building and permitting, roads, again, not at their scale. In fact, we do, like in Rock Island, we run the sewer plant, we run the sewer system, we run the water system. The county doesn't do that, so it's kind of like being the county, Douglas County Sewer District and East Wenatchee Water District all rolled into one. Also, parks.
What would be your philosophy of managing the county, Randy? I mean, if you have like a guiding principle that you think you could apply in all cases as a commissioner, what would it be?
I represent the people. I don't just say that, I actually do it. And my first meeting with staff, when I became the mayor of Rock Island, I explained that to them. I was elected by the people to represent the people first. I will represent the city second. And I have consistently done that all the time I've been mayor.
Well, how do you go about it, and how would you go about it as commissioner to keep the people's voice in mind? Do you hold more public meetings or take surveys?
One thing I was talking to Mark Straub about here recently, an idea that occurred to me. People don't come to council meetings, they don't go to commissioner meetings unless you've upset them. That's just the way it works. And consequently, I don't get to sit and talk to people unless I go out and knock on their door, which most people don't really care to have you knocking on their door. Anyway, so my idea was we should have a forum on our city website, likewise with the county. Why don't we have a forum where people can post whatever thoughts they have, and where we as elected officials can respond and also post our own information directly to the people. I think it's a great way to create interaction, and that's how life works in this day and age.
Are there any priorities, Randy, that you think Douglas County has set where they, went the wrong direction? You disagreed with the priorities. You think to yourself, if I was commissioner when that decision was made, I would have voted the other way.
The only one I can really think of in that regard, and I understand their reasoning, but was banning fireworks. We've never had an issue with it. So we're solving a problem that doesn't really exist, in my opinion. And when they did that, they wanted all the cities to also ban fireworks, and Rock Island was the only one. I said no. It's never caused an issue, and I don't see it causing an issue, so.
You have sometimes, Randy, written editorials, open letters, opinion pieces that have been published in local newspapers. And in November 2020, you had a column called An IQ Test. This had to do with the COVID-19 pandemic. You raised a lot of questions that you said were concerning you about the way these numbers of infections and deaths were reported, what their seriousness was for the population at large. So we're 4 years out. There's been 1.1 million Americans died of COVID. 26 people in Douglas County as of last year. Any thoughts or wishes to revisit that particular column?
No, I think I was accurate in what I was saying then. The except for even the very oldest people. You had a, what was it, 0.04 or 0.004% chance of dying from COVID. And even with the numbers you're talking about, that is the percentage. I don't feel that's any bigger threat than a bad flu season. Same numbers, actually. And I was getting all my numbers from the CDC. I wasn't making them up. And 4 years out, look at, in my opinion, locking down the entire economy, putting businesses, small businesses, out of business, I think was an absolute disaster.
Time for a check now of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Wednesday. Boy, it was a nice one out there. We did warm up some, but lots of sunshine out there and not much for windy conditions. Here's a look from outside our weather window from this afternoon, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley from the Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. And there you have it. That kind of sums up our weather today. Nice clean air today, too. That's good news. Hopefully it stays that way as we get into the end of the week and this weekend. One thing we do know, it's going to be a hot one. We're going to be near 100 degrees tomorrow, and then as we get into Friday, 103. I think we're going to be hotter than that. And here you go. Our record set in 1961 is in fact 103 degrees. And I think all of these temperatures right through Tuesday, we're going to see triple digits for Wenatchee, but you know, even upper 90s, it is going to be a hot stretch of weather. It doesn't look like this heat wave will last as long as the one we had earlier in the month. Today's high temperature, in fact, our high and low almost exactly where we should be for July 31st. 89 unofficially today. 90 is our normal high temperature. We were at 64 this morning, and that's right in line with our normal low temperature for this time of year. For the second day in a row, 2022 holds our record high record, and that is 105 degrees a couple of years ago. 51 our record low, set in 1964. Sunrise this morning 5:39 and sets tonight at 8:35. Getting you into those hot Thursday temperatures. 100 for Moses Lake tomorrow. 99s Quincy, Ephrata, Wenatchee, Entiat into Chelan. Omak will be the warm spot tomorrow at 101 degrees. The cool spot, if you can call it that, 94 tomorrow for the afternoon high up in Lake Wenatchee. Tonight, remember, we're going to see some clear skies. Northern lights should be visible for us tonight between about 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning. That's why. Look at all the clear skies. So if you have a chance, get out there and enjoy those with low temperatures around 70 for Thursday, our first day of August, and it's going to feel like it. Sunny as our heat wave begins. High temperatures tomorrow near that 100 degree mark, and then it gets even hotter from there as we get you into Friday. Desert Southwest high is bringing up that warmth. We could see record highs on Friday. If we hit 105, that will be a record. I mentioned 103, our old record for Friday, so we'll keep our eye on that. Getting you into this hot weekend, mostly sunny. We will see highs on Saturday closer to 100, but between 100 and 105 degrees, and not much is going to change for Sunday. Maybe a few high clouds will save us a little bit from all that sunshine on Sunday, but we're still talking highs Sunday near 100 degrees. And folks, not much is going to change as we get into the first part of next week. Sunny skies again on Monday and remaining hot. Highs again could top out in the triple digits for Monday, and we're going to stay that way on Tuesday as well. So this heat wave will continue into next week. Big anchoring high pressure still out in the Pacific, still hot as well on Tuesday. Highs again, maybe even a little warmer than 100, between 100 and 105 degrees. All right, your 7-day forecast, 69 overnight tonight, near 100 tomorrow. This could be a record-setting Saturday with 105 expected, 101 Saturday, and then 100 degrees with a mix of clouds and sun for both Sunday and Monday, and 102 for a high on Tuesday with sunny skies. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCWLIFE app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCWLIFE app now.
Happy Wednesday. The Mariners bounced back from Monday's drubbing in Boston to beat the Red Sox last night 10-5. Jorge Polanco had a homer while Justin Turner made his Mariner debut as Seattle picked up its 4th win on this road trip.
Justin Turner getting a nice round of applause. 90 games with Toronto, 257 this season. Here's a line drive into right field. Abreu, here's a throw to the plate, and it's offline. Throw down to second. Turner, they got him, but he drove in a run, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
Raffy with a high fly, left field, heading back to the wall. That one's sailing for the corner. She's gone! Raffy strikes for a 3-run shot.
That's breaking the ice.
That's one way to do it.
3-run bombs are the best.
No 2 pitch. That's hit well towards the gap, towards the monster, over the monster in the middle row there. And Polanco checks in with a home run. His 10th of the season, RBI number 26. Bobble, run. He is out at first. Oh, man, I thought he was going to beat that one. Run does score, ties the game.
After review, the call in the field is overturned. Runner safe. Seattle retains its out.
Put in play, bobbled, and the first baseman will take it. That's Dominic Smith. Gets the out, but another run scores. Big opportunity right here. Fly ball deep. Going back, off the monster. Scoring is Robles, scoring is Arozarena, scoring is Polanco. Dylan Moore clears the bases with a 3-run double.
Looked like a little cutter right in the middle of the plate. That was right off the top of the monster. Almost hit it out.
Demo takes it out to a 7-3 Mariner lead. Tell him how good this result of this season could be. There's a wild pitch. Comes back. Cal saw it all the way. See if they can get some settled down. It does. Robles scores. Cal to third. You gotta like that. Jorge Polanco drives in a run to make it 8-3 Mariners. Runner goes, throw down to second, nothing doing. Into center field, run scores, here's Polanco. Demo to third. They're running them out of their own building here. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, Rojas. Step, throw, got him game. Mariners win 10-6.
The two teams played the rubber match earlier today, and that was on Root Sports Northwest. Mariners will return home after today. Seattle got some help from Pittsburgh as the Pirates beat Houston 6-2 to give the Mariners a 1-game lead back in the AL West. St. Louis topped Texas 8-1 to push the Rangers to 4.5 games back. LA beat Colorado 10-7. Oakland down San Francisco 5-2. Well, make it an 0-2 start for the Americans in the Olympic women's 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Haley Van Lith's 2-pointer with time winding down missed, and Azerbaijan hit 2 free throws to ice it in a 20-17 win for Azerbaijan, and another loss for Team USA. Van Lith finished with 5 points, while teammate Derica Hamby led the way with 7. Van Lith's squad will have 2 opportunities to get in the win column in pool play tomorrow against Australia at 4 a.m. Another game at 12:30 against Spain. Now, today's game was on E, the entertainment channel. That's channel 66 for local tel subscribers, so you might be able to catch that either of those games tomorrow on that channel. The Wenatchee Apple Sox won both ends of a doubleheader in West Coast League Baseball in Kelowna last night. The Sox picked up the opener of the 2 7-inning affair 7-1 as Quincy Vassar pitched 5 innings for the victory. We get more on the sweep from the voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox picked up a doubleheader sweep of the Kelowna Falcons with a 7-1 victory in Game 1 and then an 8-4 triumph in Game 2 on Tuesday night at Elk Stadium. The Apple Sox improved to 4-0 in doubleheaders in the 3-year coaching history of head coach Mitch Darlington, and they did so in part thanks to the work of Cannon Peary at the plate. 4 hits for him in game number 2 after a 3-hit effort in the first game for a 7-hit day at the plate for the Apple Sox first baseman. Wenatchee had 3 different innings across the 14 frames in which they scored at least 3 runs in an inning, and they earned their 11th series victory of the summer. The Apple Sox will go for their 5th series sweep of the season when they take on the Falcons again at 6:35 p.m. on Wednesday night at Elk Stadium. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Other West Coast League action last night. Kamloops topped Bellingham 13-4. Nanaimo swept a doubleheader from Port Angeles 4-1 and 8-5. Victoria edged Edmonton 5-3. Corvallis topped Walla Walla 9-1. Portland got by Cowlitz 7-2. Springfield beat Bend 6-3. And Ridgefield rocked Yakima Valley 19-3. Wenatchee's sweep gave the Apple Sox a little more breathing room in the WCL's North Division second half standings. Wenatchee now leads Bellingham and Victoria by a game and a half. Nanaimo sits 2 games behind at 11-9. Well, not 1 but 2 local youth baseball teams are headed to the World Series. Matt Hampton is the coach of the Columbia River 13U team that won the Babe Ruth Regionals tournament in Ferndale last weekend.
Well, we were able to pull out a regional championship and punch our ticket to the World Series in Glen Ellen, Virginia next week.
That's coming up real soon here in August. Now you got your whole team around you here. This is 13U, is that right?
Yeah, 13U Babe Ruth regional champions. We operate out of the local Wenatchee Youth Baseball program here in Wenatchee.
Not only did the 13U team from Wenatchee qualify, but the 10U Wenatchee All-Stars qualified for Cal Ripken World Series.
Pretty amazing that you think of how many teams are out there in the country that are fortunate enough to get to the World Series, and we've got 2 from our little town of Wenatchee, Washington. It's pretty special to have it happen to one team is pretty special, but to have 2 in the same year you'd be. You'd be tough to find another situation where that's happened.
There will be a fundraiser, as you see here, at Wenatchee Valley Brewery tomorrow. That starts at 11 o'clock. 50% of the proceeds benefit Wenatchee Youth Baseball to help defray some of the costs to head to the World Series. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. Email us at news@NCWLIFE.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.